This is Blue Mountain State, and we are known to be one of, if not the biggest party school out of any college to ever be created. But this year, we're going to focus on football. Let's get into some player introductions. First up, we have Alex Moran, backup quarterback who is usually more focused on chasing girls, but he is definitely one of the main motivators for this team. Next up, we got Harmon Tedesco, who during the very few times that he's completely sober, he can be one of the greatest field goal kickers you'll ever see. Then we got All-American running back Craig Shiloh, who has a perfectly healthy and non-toxic relationship with his girlfriend. We are expecting Craig to be a key contributor for us this season. Last but not least, we have Thad Castle, the undisputed leader and captain for this team, who is willing to do anything to keep his guys focused, motivated, and remove any distractions.
We just wish you would get the hell out of my face! Get out of my face! Get out! Don't even look back here! Forget about us!
Y'all see those eyes? Those are the eyes of a leader right there. As far as other notable players, we got starting quarterback Travis McKenna, and then we got starting receiver Jesse Sersky. Here at Blue Mountain State, we do a lot of recruiting. We aren't exactly swinging for the 5 stars quite yet, but it turns out that a lot of athletes are interested in being a part of our university, and some of them even insta-commit. But we're not going to focus too much on the recruiting quite yet because our head coach Marty Daniels is definitely more of a motivator as of right now. So instead, we'll focus on getting into our first game of the season. Kicking off this season, I'd like to welcome all of you to the Goat House. We got our guys pumped up for this home opener, and we're looking forward to sending some of these astronauts into deep space. On the very first play of the game, our captain Thad Castle is coming up big by filling in the gap here and smacking the dog feces out of this running back. But it wasn't just Thad who came to play because we got a sack here on third down that would force the astronauts to punt. Surprisingly, we're able to get a pretty good return out of it. Our special teams is looking nice right now. On third down and 5, our quarterback Travis McKenna is able to get the ball out to a receiver on the left side, who finds enough space to race around the edge and eventually get himself into the end zone for a touchdown. Now we got all 3 faces doing their job early at the Goat House. Now we just got to focus on keeping things going, but whatever's happening here is definitely happening. You're seeing it. This quarterback takes read option and brings it all the way down the field inside goal-to-goal territory. And then they were able to pretty easily just punch it into the end zone with a run. By the second quarter, they ran their way back down the field and got another touchdown to take the lead. So this game wasn't starting off exactly how we intended, but we knew we had to get the ball to Craig Shiloh, who could help get us going. He helps bring us deep past midfield, and now that we're down by the goal line, he's going to punch it in for the first touchdown of his season. Should hopefully expect to see many more from this kid. Our defense was starting to tighten up at the end of the first half as we got a stop on third down. And then back on offense, Travis McKenna, while on the run, throws an absolute dime towards the middle of the field for a touchdown. Jesse Sersky is there for the reception. Our defense is still out here locking up as we almost get a sack for a safety. But things started to cascade for the astronauts here as Travis McKenna finds Craig Shiloh wide open down the sideline, who's able to take it into the end zone for another touchdown on the day. And you shouldn't be surprised to find out that he wasn't done yet, because early in the third quarter he goes in for another touchdown at the goal line. And after he takes this pitch, runs down the sideline a little bit and says, "Hey," then stiff-armed the guy to the ground. That had pretty much broken the spirits of the astronauts. And they actually threw a pick in the fourth quarter to pretty much wrap up their hopes for our comeback. But over here at Blue Mountain State, we do not show mercy. We play every snap like we're down by 7. So Travis McKenna lobs this ball up, and Jesse Sersky is coming down with it, going the distance for another touchdown to officially put this one away. We finished our home opener with the victory, winning 49-21, while Travis McKenna won player of the game, going for 484 yards and 5 touchdowns. Craig Shiloh also had a pretty good game with 50 yards on the ground and over 130 yards receiving. Going into the next week, we see that there's some players who are thinking about transferring, but I don't think I could care less because neither of these guys would ever touch the field at any school. Craig Shiloh had won Mountain West Player of the Week, which was a great way to start the season off. On top of that, our head coach was working on becoming a better recruiter, which seemed to work as he finally had access to recruit some more 5-stars. And after finding this wide receiver who is 6'6", has 98 jumping, and is a gem with 97 speed, we knew we had to do whatever it took to make this guy a future Mountain Goat. Now we did have a situation over the weekend though where some girl was trying to poke holes in Alex Moran's condoms. Thank God we had Thad over there to save the day.
Get out! Get out of my house!
World's a dangerous place, Moran.
But now, it's time to lock in for our next game against San Jose State. Now I'll tell you what, one thing that we usually do is go for it on fourth down, and whether or not we pick it up, we never regret the decision. On the bright side, we know that we can always count on Thad Castle to make a play.
That's what I do! I lay people out!
But early on here, it felt like he's the only one making plays because we let up an early touchdown. It was all good though because we knew we just had to get the ball to Craig on offense and he might be able to get something going. He takes this stretch handoff to the left and is able to race past all the defenders and finds himself running into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game for Blue Mountain State, tying this game up at 7 apiece. It really felt like we were doing a great job on defense as we were able to get multiple stops in the backfield. Now right here in 3rd and 17, all we have to do is just get one more stop. But the quarterback decides to chuck it up and, well, that's just crazy. Thad's out here missing a tackle and giving up another touchdown, and we are now once again trailing. But back out on offense, thankfully that Travis McKenna to Jesse Sersky connection was growing stronger, as they make a big play here on 3rd down. And now here again on 3rd down, we are making a bad play, throwing a pick that's returned all the way across midfield. And clearly our defense is just not locked in this first half, because we let up a bomb down the left side of the field that goes in for another touchdown. But before the half ends, we're looking for some bombs of our own. So Travis once again lobs it up, and it is Jesse Sersky coming down with another reception as he's taking this one into the end zone for another touchdown, bringing this to a one-possession game. After halftime, though, our defense is still clearly not locked in, as we let up another huge gain. On top of that, we have absolutely nobody playing contain down at the goal line, and the quarterback just waltzes his way into the end zone for another touchdown for San Jose. And at this point, we knew the best way for us to get back in the game was to keep taking shots. So who else but Jesse Sersky, man, in for another touchdown to make this a 7-point game. And now it seems like the momentum's turning our way, because we came out there and got a pick and took points off the board for San Jose State. This offense was really able to get things going this drive with the help of Craig Shiloh. But I'm starting to think that the cornerbacks for San Jose State are not D1 college athletes, because Jesse Sersky just races past this guy for another touchdown to finally tie this game back up. Back out on defense, Thad Castle is out here helping to make another stop to give us an opportunity to take the lead. And we were going to do everything we could to make that happen. And then we were able to get it into the end zone for a touchdown to finally take the lead back in this game. Now with around a minute left, we need to get a stop. And on top of that, we have defenders over here missing tackles left and right. And he's able to bring San Jose State all the way down to the 10-yard line. And then unsurprisingly, they throw another touchdown to tie the game up. So now with under 50 seconds left, we have to make a play. And it turns out we do pick up a pretty good chunk of yardage right here. But unfortunately, the coach forgot that he had true clock on. Now the clock was running all the way down to 10 seconds before they finally called a timeout. So now they have less of an opportunity to make something happen here. But once again, Craig Shiloh is wide open. And he brings this ball all the way down to the red zone. So now with an opportunity to end this game, we send out Harmon Tedesco, who drills this kick and secures this victory for Blue Mountain State as we go on to win 38-35. Jesse Sersky rightfully won player of the game as he almost had 200 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. On top of that, Travis McKenna had another great game, and Craig had been contributing greatly not only on the ground, but also through the air. Shout out to Thad Castle for leading the way on defense. Now after the game, we decided to make some adjustments to our cornerbacks because holy shit, these guys played bad. On top of that, we see our head coach evolving as he becomes more of a tactician now, but there was some more great news for our running back Craig Shiloh, because his girlfriend gave him a promise ring just to show her love and loyalty to him. And let me tell you, Craig really appreciated that. He was going into this next game against Baylor, ready to lead his team to a victory. We start this game off in 1st and 10 where McKenna is rolling out right. He delivers a strike to his receiver where Jesse comes up with a big catch for a first down. But that was about all the magic we had on this first drive because we ended up getting sacked and are forced to punt. Fortunately, unlike Blue Mountain State, Baylor doesn't seem to be a well-coached team, because as our kicker boots this ball away, Baylor was hit with a flag, and it turns out to be roughing the punter, which means that we get a free first down. And you better believe that we were going to take advantage of that. Now, even though we didn't, you still better believe. Because now back out on defense, led by Thad, we had the Bears boxed up, and eventually we were able to get the quarterback down to the ground for a sack. We did let up 3 points, so now it was time to put up some points of our own. On 3rd and 11, we weren't able to convert, so we had to kick a field goal. And this one was a super easy chip shot, but Harmon actually missed it. Nah, see, the way he's walking, I can tell he's drunk off of something. But whatever, man. We got to come back out here and play defense. And one of our linebackers is in great position to say, swing! Picking this ball off and preventing points for Baylor before half. When the offense came back out, Travis threw an absolute strike to his guy, who was able to make the catch and get some yards into open space, and eventually get out of bounds in field goal range. And with 1 second left, I think Harmon finally sobered up because he hits this field goal to tie the game up at 3. After halftime, Craig Shiloh was showing how great of a weapon he truly was. He made a great play here to help bring his team within goal-to-goal territory. And then when it got to 4th down, we got the ball to him once again, and he got into the end zone to finally give us the lead in this game and make it 10-3. And at some point, this started to feel like the Craig Shiloh show. because he was out here saying, "Excuse me," to defenders, and then just running right by them. He was able to break free for his second touchdown of the game, swinging all the momentum towards Blue Mountain State. And that became evident as Baylor continued to fail to put up points up until the fourth quarter, where they finally get a touchdown here. Regardless, we were able to take a knee, and we ended up winning this game 17-11. Someone please tell me if that's a score I got. Overall, we had some great performances all around, largely led by Craig Shiloh. We also came into some great news when we found out that we actually skyrocketed to the top of Evan Azuma's list of colleges. And he is a guy that we absolutely need. I mean, there's a reason why he's at the top of our board as well. At practice during the week, for a little while, Alex Moran was looking like the next coming of Matthew Stafford, and he almost started to make us think about giving him reps at the 1 spot. But then almost immediately after, he started playing like garbage, so we decided to send him over to special teams to be the placeholder for Harmon.
I'm Harmon Tedesco, best goddamn place kicker in the whole continental world.
Alex Moran.
It seemed like they were working well together because Harmon was out there booting kids, so we better be ready to do that in this next game as we are set to face off against Wyoming. To start this game off, we have Travis McKenna throwing an absolutely beautiful ball to Jesse Sersky, already bringing us within the red zone. And I think Craig Shiloh was trying to insert himself into the Heisman conversation, because on this play, when he gets the ball, he says, "Get off me, skibbity hey," and fights his way into the end zone for another touchdown on the season. And you gotta remember, this kid is just a true freshman. He's only 17, he like Ryan Williams. Our defense, though, did not have the same energy because we were getting cooked. We were continuously letting up first downs, and eventually Wyoming just took a shot to the end zone, and it landed as they go in for their first touchdown of the game. But you see, one thing that we're not going to do is just accept that, though. So Travis goes out and throws a beautiful ball, and Craig is there to come up with an incredible catch in traffic to pick up a huge first down. And the game plan for the rest of the drive seemed to be just get the ball to Craig Shiloh, because this kid was out here moving the sticks damn near on his own. And after we get down to the goal line, he punches it in for another touchdown on his day, also giving us back the lead. More Craig Shiloh before half was helpful towards allowing Harmon Tedesco to drill this kick and extend our lead to 10. After halftime, we were just looking to chew the clock and get this game over with. We got a pitch out to Craig, and he was able to race around the edge and eventually dive into the end zone for his third touchdown on the day to effectively end this game. But like I said before, we don't show mercy around here. So we eventually threw another touchdown to Craig for his fourth, just to remind Wyoming not to put us on the schedule next year. We walked out of here with a 31-7 W, while Craig Shiloh had 99 yards and 4 touchdowns, along with 13 receptions and 165 yards receiving. He earned himself another National Offensive Player of the Week, but now it seemed like we were about to run into some QB problems, because Travis McKenna this week was facing suspension, and to say the least, Thad was not taking it very well.
Hey, Travis.
Oh. A staring contest really gets me.
Now do not ask me why, but for some reason the only way that Travis would be able to start this week is if Craig Shiloh got his meat slurped by a man dressed as a woman. You better believe that he did what he had to do.
Go, go.
And now back at full strength, Blue Mountain State was ready to take on the Navy. Surprise, surprise, everybody. To start this game, Craig Shiloh was out there making a great catch, picking up some good yardage and saying, "Hey, excuse me," while getting a first down. We eventually went for it on 4th down and got stopped. And then we wanted to see if our defense could get a stop, and they ended up only letting up 3 points, so I'll take it. With our receivers not exactly being the greatest, it was nice to have a guy like Craig Shiloh who could get open very quickly at the backfield and pick up some big first downs. I mean, this kid is starting to seem way more useful than any of us here at Blue Mountain State ever expected. And we realize that after he takes this catch and goes in for another touchdown on his season, making this a 7-3 game before half. But never forget that we still have Thad Castle out here laying the boomstick on ball carriers.
9-11, baby! 9-11! Never forget!
For the first time all season, we actually get stopped in the backfield for a safety. But luckily, our defense is able to prevent any further points, so we can go out there and call a play where Travis McKenna takes another shot. And of course, it's caught by Craig Shiloh, who takes his ball deep into plus territory, putting us in great scoring position. Craig ends up running into the end zone for a touchdown to extend this lead, and after almost immediately getting the ball back, we throw another touchdown to make this 2 possessions. The Navy running a triple option wasn't really able to do anything on our defense all game, up until the 4th quarter where they finally scored a touchdown. But with the help of Craig Shiloh, he was able to swerve out some defenders and chew this clock out, and we would end up escaping this game and winning 20-15. Another great game by Craig Shiloh, and I think at this point we might as well just try to make him a Heisman candidate, because he definitely seems like he's capable. Our right end, Jalen Means, who's been a monster for us all season, earns himself a Defensive Player of the Week, and it's looking like we run the Mountain West Conference because so does Craig Shiloh. But during the week, Craig had actually caught his girlfriend with some dude, and at first he wanted to act out, but his girlfriend told him that he was actually an NFL agent, and she was just trying to get him signed to a good contract. Yeah, see, look at his face. Craig realizes that his girlfriend would never cheat on him, and he was looking to have a big game this weekend against New Mexico just in her honor. To begin this game, we see our guy Jesse Sirski beating his guy off the press, and he is eventually able to haul this pass in, and he is now breaking away for the first touchdown of the game early in the first quarter. Jesse Sirski for sure is one of the most underrated receivers in the country. Back out on defense, we were bending as much as we possibly could until we eventually snapped and allowed a touchdown. And this game remained relatively stalemated up until the fourth quarter, where on 4th and 13, Travis McKenna is throwing an absolute rocket and is able to hit Jesse Sirski down the sideline for a huge gain for multiple reasons. Because now we're in position to make this a 2-possession lead, whether it's a field goal or this Craig Shiloh run, where he takes it into the end zone for another touchdown on the day to extend the lead to 2 possessions. But with around a minute left in the game, we found ourselves up by 1 score, and New Mexico was driving to tie the game, which eventually they did. And with 55 seconds left, you might be surprised, but it turns out that all you really had to do was just get the ball to Craig Shiloh, who would eventually haul in this catch and take it within field goal range. Except for the fact that we didn't even need a field goal, because Craig Shiloh just bulldozes his way into the end zone for another touchdown to seal the game anyway. We escaped this game on the road with a 28-21 victory, and both our guys Craig and Jesse were doing their thing. I don't know if we win this game without them, but we're working hard to bring in as much help as we can, as we're able to get a few more commits throughout the season. And it turns out that Craig Shiloh is officially a Heisman candidate. But hearing this news for Craig actually led to an argument with Thad, because Craig just wanted to borrow some of his steroids to play better throughout the season. But it turns out those steroids were actually rabies, and Thad was mad that he took the rabies. Yeah, it was a whole big thing.
What are you talking about, rabies?
You just stole my rabies!
Ooh, this isn't steroids, this is rabies.
Oh my God, Larry, I'm about to flip out on this guy.
Rabies?
Larry, get the car! I'm done with this guy! I don't even care if you took my rabies! Keep it! Just get out of my life!
But going into the next game, it seemed like the whole team was playing with rabies, because we came out there and were ravaging Colorado State. We scored a touchdown to make this an early 7-0 lead, but the fireworks were just beginning. Because still, even within the first quarter, Travis McKenna goes out there and throws a bomb to Jesse Sirski, taking it into the end zone for his first touchdown of the day. And before I show you guys the rest of this game, yes, we do indeed play on Heisman. That Travis McKenna to Jesse Sirski connection was becoming one of the top duos in the country, as we're able to connect for another touchdown to make this 20-3. And still somehow it seems the fireworks are just beginning. Even with the time running out in the first half, Travis McKenna throws another ball up to Jesse Sirski, and of course he comes down with it. He runs into the end zone for another touchdown and lets the DBs know that they are in fact his children. And after Travis goes out there and throws another bomb to the third string wide receiver, we knew we had to see what was going on with these Colorado State cornerbacks, because some of these guys are looking like they should play for Bishop Sycamore. We let Craig Biggett into the end zone for another touchdown on the day to officially put this one way out of reach. We ended up blowing the doors off of Colorado State 49-6, and the entire offense really contributed to the success. But Craig did come out there and win National Player of the Week again. On top of that, the head coach is working on his recruiting, so he doesn't ever end up like Colorado State. The #1 prospect on our board is ready for a visit, and we already know we're about to show this kid the time of his life. As soon as he steps on campus, he ain't leaving. But we can worry about that another time, because for now, we have to get ready to take on the Army. To start this game off, it felt like it was going to be a stat game, because Craig was out there making people miss and picking up huge gains for first down. After getting this pitch, he was able to make an incredible play to get his team all the way downfield and inside the goal-to-goal territory. Eventually, we were able to get it in with our backup running back, Poe, who scored his first touchdown of the season on this play. On defense, we had these guys on a goal-to-goal situation, and they were still able to score a touchdown. And in this game, for whatever reason, we just weren't really able to get things clicking in the first half, so we had to end up settling for a field goal. And with the help of this pass interference with a few seconds before half, Harmon Tedesco was able to kick another field goal to make this a 6-point game. Now that was the good news. The bad news is that it seems like Thad Castle will be injured and out for the rest of this game. But that's no big deal to us, because we still come out here and get a stop. But right as we feel like we're about to extend this lead, Travis McKenna takes a hit, and his pass is actually picked off and returned all the way to the crib for 6. Now with the game tied, we're kind of desperate to take a shot, because this is the Army. This isn't a team that should be hanging around with us. And even though we incomplete this one, right here on 4th down, we take another shot. And this one is caught. And our third string receiver is able to run his way into the end zone for a touchdown to take the lead back in this game. We were continuing to get stops on defense, but so was the Army as they stop us here on 3rd down, forcing us to send out Harmon Tedesco to get us 3 points. But in the 4th quarter, we ran commit at a terrible time, and Army was able to score the easiest touchdown you'll ever see. So now we had to come back out and make up for it, and right here, we do, as we get into the end zone for another touchdown to extend the lead once again. And maybe we are missing Thad Castle more than I thought because we let up another touchdown to the Army. But now all we had to do was just chew the clock out, which it really seemed to be working. No timeouts for Army, all we need is a first down, and unfortunately they get the stop. And after we punted the ball away, we played immaculate defense to say the least. We got these boys to a fourth down, and at this point there was really no way. Okay. Well, we have a problem. With 3 seconds left, we take a shot to number 3, Jeserski. And oh my god, you guys would not believe that he was not able to catch the ball, and we would lose this game 34-29 for our first loss of the season. Now this was a really bad loss to a really bad team. Yes, some of our players played really well, but this is the kind of performance that is unacceptable from Blue Mountain State. So much so that we had coaches out here beating the dog shit out of each other in the locker room. On top of that, it turns out that Thad was never even injured. It's just that somebody took his pocket pussy, and he is having a really hard time playing without it.
Who has my pocket pussy? I have stuck my dick and sometimes my balls in that stupid thing before every game since I was 10. I can't play without it. Go mess with the things to get him through the day.
So I guess it turns out we're going to be without Thad for a while. But that was all good because we had some other players to make plays, like Harmon Tedesco, who makes a huge kick to start this game off. Our defense was definitely missing Thad though, as we did let up 7 points. And then on this play, I don't know if Fresno State has Ed Reed or Troy Polamalu, or if their safety is actually A-Train from the boys. But this guy just speeds over from the opposite side of the field to get the pick, and then picked up some pretty decent yardage while he was at it. Luckily nothing came of it, and we were able to get right back to business, as Travis throws a dime down the left side of the field, where Jeserski comes up with the catch, hauling this one in the end zone for a touchdown to take the lead in this game. Defense once again is unable to get a stop, but it doesn't seem like Fresno State's able to get one either, because with 11 seconds left in the half, Travis McKenna makes an incredible throw down the sideline, and of course it's Jesse Searcy coming up with the catch and bringing us all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. And it was at this point I realized that we're probably not even going to have Jesse for next year because he's definitely getting drafted. After halftime, we threw the alert on this RPO, and our slot receiver Larry English is able to run past everybody. He's finding himself in a foot race towards the end zone, which eventually he's able to win and extend the lead for Blue Mountain State to 10. On top of that, we have Craig Shallow out here still making plays as he hauls in this catch and is able to race down the sideline for another touchdown on his season. In the fourth quarter, we decided to give the ball to Craig a lot to put this game away. He caught this pass over the middle and eventually brought it into the end zone, effectively ending this game in the fourth quarter. But once again, no mercy. We got Craig in there for another one with 10 seconds left and walked out of here with a 45-21 victory. Craig had over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns in this game, and it was just enough to earn him Mountain West Player of the Week. Now we know that we're not going to be at the top of everybody's boards, and that is perfectly fine with us. We have always had the mindset that if you don't want to be at Blue Mountain State, then you are probably already high and or drunk enough. But in other news, we had some pretty big issues with one of our players. Craig had found out that his girlfriend was actually cheating on him the whole time, and that honestly made Craig sad, but also super angry. So he was ready to take out some of that anger on Oregon State. And to start this game off, there are some bombs to Jesse Searcy that are flying, and then eventually caught as Jeserski takes it into the end zone for a touchdown, giving us the early 7-0 lead. But the issue was that Craig Shallow couldn't hide it anymore, man. I mean, he was suffering a broken heart out here. So we had to rely on our second running back, Kamari Poe, who got into the end zone for the second touchdown of his season. And actually, this game was led largely by Poe, as he ended up going in for another touchdown on the game, making it a 3-score game before half. But by the fourth quarter, Oregon State was showing no signs of life, so we decided to get Craig a touchdown to see if we can cheer him up a little bit. We ended up beating Oregon handedly 45-20, while Poe had scored all 4 touchdowns, and Jesse Searcy had over 130 receiving yards. As the season begins to come to a close, we notice that not only are we not in the college football playoff bracket, but we're still not even ranked within the top 25. So going into the next game, Thad had decided to spike the water cooler, because we are about to face off against the 7-3 Nevada team, and he wanted us to play loose. Even with Thad back in the lineup, our defense is playing too loose, as Nevada is pretty easily able to get a touchdown on their opening drive of the game. Absolutely no problem though, as Travis McKenna is able to find Jeserski for another catch down the sideline, and he has taken it into the end zone for what it feels like the 15th time this season. But on top of that, we came out on defense and said, "Wang!" forcing a fumble by knocking the opposing team into next Saturday. Off the speed option pitch, Kamari Poe is able to get into the end zone for another touchdown on his season. With Nebraska playing like Haka Pee throughout the majority of this game, it didn't really seem important to give it our full attention. We got Craig into the end zone late though for his Heisman campaign, and walked out of here with a dominating 38-17 victory. Jesse Sirski led the way with player of the game, but Jesse Sirski along with other players are on the brink of becoming ineligible. And if it wasn't for Alex Moran, who basically blackmailed the professor to give all his teammates a C, or else he would post a video of the professor's mom giving the Hawk to a double-handed Gluck Gluck 9000 to the entire football team. And just like that, everybody got a C, and closed out the season strong against San Diego State, and was ready to get into the Mountain West Conference Championship against the University of Hawaii. And this is the game where Craig Shiloh had officially turned his heartbreak into pure energy and motivation, as he was running wild all over Hawaii and got in for a touchdown early in this game. He then went out there and ran an angle route, and eventually caught it before going into the end zone for another touchdown on the day. On top of that, we found a nice little direct snap play that allows Craig to break free pretty often. And this time, he's bringing the ball way past midfield. He punched it in for another touchdown, making this a 28-14 ball game. But after halftime, Hawaii was looking to close the gap as they got into the end zone for their own touchdown. But what's a Blue Mountain State game without a bomb to Jesse Sirski, where he hauls it in past the defender and takes it all the way into the end zone for another touchdown on his season. And after late in the fourth quarter, Craig goes in for another touchdown on the day. This conference championship game is over, and Blue Mountain State is able to leave out of here with a 52-29 victory. Craig Shiloh had one player of the game with over 240 yards and 5 touchdowns. But on top of that, he had almost 130 receiving yards. But now that we are officially Mountain West champions, it's extremely unfortunate to see that we will most likely not make the college football playoffs. But we are fortunate to see that Craig Shiloh won National Player of the Year, along with becoming the first ever Heisman winner in the history of Blue Mountain State. But after we simmed to the first week of bowl games, we noticed that we don't have a bowl game on our schedule, because it turns out that we actually have a bye, and we did actually make the playoffs. But we would run into some other issues. We had some players who found themselves in some trouble and were barely able to make the bus for the game. But on top of that, Travis McKenna, the starting quarterback, was sick, so Alex Moran would have to make his first start.
Can you play?
I could. I don't know why it matters.
Well, it does matter, because Jesus forgot to tell our starting quarterback about food poisoning.
So now going into the first playoff game in the history of Blue Mountain State, led by Alex Moran, we were ready to go out there and get the job done. Now Alex Moran came out here looking good and ready to play. And he proves that by getting the ball here to Craig Shiloh, who scampers his way downfield and finds himself close to a first down. A speed option to Craig Shiloh where he's able to take it around the edge and all the way downfield into the end zone is how Blue Mountain State is putting up their first playoff points. On top of that, we had Thad Castle out there helping to make stops on defense. But by the second quarter, Louisiana and Blue Mountain State were trading blows. Jesse Sirski ran a nice dig route across the middle and was able to get this ball into the end zone for a touchdown. But then out on defense, we literally have nobody playing over the middle. So it makes sense that Louisiana is able to get an easy pass all the way down the field in the hands of a guy who takes it into the end zone for their own touchdown. But this wouldn't be that much of an issue if Alex Moran wasn't playing like prime Cardinals Josh Rosen, as he throws a pick right here with seconds to go before half, and the defender takes it all the way to the end zone for a touchdown to tie the game up. And maybe prime Josh Rosen was a little too generous. I should have said Dan Orlovsky or something, because Alex comes back after half and throws another interception. Luckily this time not for a touchdown. Finally, we were able to make some plays on defense to force a field goal. But they came right back out and did the same thing to us to force us to kick one. With under 2 minutes left on third down, they tried to take a shot deep, but they failed to convert, and were forced to give us another opportunity to get the lead back. And that was an opportunity that Craig Shiloh was going to take into his own hands, as he was able to race around the edge right here and get us deep into field goal range with the clock still ticking. And now with the clock about to run out, Harmon Tedesco absolutely drills this kick and helps bring Blue Mountain State its first playoff victory in its entire school history. Craig had earned himself another player of the game with 150 yards rushing, but now Blue Mountain State was about to go up against undoubtedly the toughest opponent of their season, as they got set to face off against one of the top teams in the country, the Oregon Ducks. Early on in this game, we see exactly why Oregon is in this position, because they drove up and down the field on us like it was nothing, and was eventually able to punch it into the end zone for an easy touchdown. And we know we can't fall behind in this game, so we end up taking a shot deep. And out of the entire season, this is by far the most widest, openest player ever. Craig Shiloh could stop and tie his shoe right now and still get into the end zone for a touchdown. We were able to get a stop on defense to force a punt, and then when we came back on an offense, we made it a mission to make sure that we score points on every single drive. On this particular drive, we're only able to get 3, but I'll definitely take it when Oregon now is not able to get anything. Before halftime, Craig goes in for another touchdown on the day to finally take the lead in this game. But that wasn't going to last for long as Oregon takes a shot deep, but then maybe our defender thinks he's playing for the other team because he lets him just score a touchdown, tying this game back up at 14. After halftime, we needed Craig to lead the way as he gets in for another touchdown to put us back up by 7. On top of that, we were finally able to get things clicking consistently on defense as we were able to get a sack here on 3rd down. On 3rd down here, we need a big play to extend the drive, and who else being Craig Shiloh being the one to make it, bringing us well within field goal distance so that we can eventually get 3 points in this drive and make this a 2-possession game. Now with a little over 2 minutes left, Oregon is getting desperate trying to put up points. But our defense was doing an incredible job strapping this team up and holding them to no touchdowns. Now here on 3rd and 10, all we really need to do is just get 1 first down to put the game away. But Travis has other plans in mind as he throws a bomb to Jesse Sersky, who hauls it in, and he is racing his way down the sideline, eventually bringing this ball along the goal line and gets taken down inside the 5-yard line. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is enough to take a knee and send Blue Mountain State to the national championship. And for a university that spent 99.99999% of its history only focused on partying, this was a miraculous feat. Once again, Craig Shiloh was leading the way while earning Player of the Game. And although this team had already become the most accomplished team in Blue Mountain State's history, the job was not finished. And Blue Mountain State had to get ready to take on NC State in this year's national championship game. To start this game off, we are looking to take a shot, but instead it feels like we're getting shot as we get sacked and give the ball to NC State as they go in for the first touchdown of this championship game. But Travis McKenna wasn't just going to take that, so he rolls out to his left and delivers a dime to his receiver, who hauls it in and brings us within the red zone. Now down at the goal line on the speed option, Travis just waltzes his way into the end zone for a touchdown to tie this game up at 7. And then out of nowhere, the NC State running back turns into the Blackberry Allen and just speeds his way past every single one of our defenders, eventually finding himself in the end zone, taking the lead back for NC State. Now, NC State is not a team that we feel like we should be losing to at all. We expected for this game to be a blowout, so we're doing our best to make it that, as we deliver a strike to Jesse Sersky, who outruns all the defenders to get into the end zone to tie this game back up. And honestly, we really need to stop, so we're hoping our defense can do it without us, but they cannot. NC State goes back up by 7, but in no time, we're right back there with them. But these dudes were just not going away as they got in for another touchdown before half. And at halftime, you can see clearly the reason why we are losing in this game so far. And after halftime, it didn't seem like NC State was going to slow down anytime soon, because their running back was treating us like he was playing on rookie mode or something, literally bulldozing through our entire team and getting himself into the end zone to make it a 2-possession game for NC State. And on a play that was a complete and total busting coverage, I really don't care. We absolutely needed it, as Sersky is able to pretty much walk his way into the end zone for another touchdown on his season and cut this deficit down to 7. But oh, yep, you're seeing this right. I do not know who this guy thinks he is, but he is definitely acting like he is the greatest running back of all time. Now down by 14, we absolutely need to make a play, but we can't get nothing going because we keep shooting ourselves in the foot with penalties. Now here on 4th and 20, we don't really have a choice but to make a play. But unfortunately, we are not able to. So we have to come back out on defense and try our best to get a stop, which eventually we can. And now here on 4th and 14, with the game practically on the line, we are able to throw the ball up to Jesse Sersky, who hauls it in for a huge gain and brings this one all the way into the end zone for a touchdown to bring it back to a 2-possession game. NC State bled the clock down to under 2 minutes before they actually doinked this field goal off the upright. And now here on 3rd and 10, we really need to make a play with our season on the line. Travis finds the guy open, but he's not able to complete it. So instead, we have to rely on a Harmon Tedesco field goal that barely keeps our season alive. So now we absolutely cannot allow any first downs, but this fucking guy just stiff arms one of our guys to the ground, and he actually picks up a first down right here, but somehow we're actually able to push him back, giving us another chance. So now here on 2nd and 2, we need to get a stop. Oh my God. I actually cannot believe we lost this national championship. I mean, we were a way better team. I mean, if it wasn't for NC State having a Super Saiyan Bo Jackson on their team, then I'm pretty sure we would have won. Regardless, we did have an incredible season with a lot of young players, and if there was any game to lose at the end of the season, I guess we can be glad that it's in this one. As far as the season stats for some of our players, by far we have one of the most explosive offenses in the entire country. And I guess we had the natty appearance to show for it. But on top of that though, we did sign that 5-star receiver, along with many other players who might be key contributors next season. And in the process, we actually earned ourselves a top 25 recruiting class. But this was Season 1 of the Blue Mountain State Dynasty. And if you want to see next season, be sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel down below. And don't forget to comment down below what other players or dynasties you guys want to see next. If you got to this point in the video, just know that I seriously appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. I hope that all of your college football and NFL teams won this weekend, and other than that, I'm going to catch you guys next time.